At the beginning of the movie, we are introduced to a married couple in love. Leo leaves the movie theater with the heroine and watches the snowfall that has suddenly covered the city. Paige gets into the car and asks the man to warm her hands with his breath. Driving around the city, Leo loudly hums a song, which amuses the heroine. After a stop, Paige unexpectedly suggests starting a family. While the couple is kissing, a truck flies into them. The action shifts to 4 years ago. Standing at the airport, Leo notices an incredibly beautiful heroine and follows her to get acquainted. Paige tells him that she is studying at an art university. Nervous, Leo suggests that the heroine go on a date, and she accepts the invitation with a smile. At the cafe, they eat chocolates from a box and have fun. Later, Leo gives the heroine gifts, and they start a relationship. In the present, the man comes to his senses and nervously twirls his wedding ring in his hands. Doctors tell Leo that the heroine has suffered a brain injury, and so for the time being she is in a coma. The man socializes with friends in the hospital and often visits Paige. During one of the visits, Leo puts a wedding ring on the heroine's finger. The man recalls how he lived together with Paige and his friends and was happy. During the wedding, the heroine reads the wedding vows from the menu of the cafe where they were first on a date. After an amusing wedding in a museum, the bride and groom, along with their guests, elope outside. Leo kisses the heroine, feeling like the happiest man on earth. Paige, working in the workshop, is angry that she is slow at everything. Leo tries to support the heroine and unpicks her associations. The heroine smiles and says that it's really just clay in front of him, and her sculpture is to the left. Leo recalls experiencing things with his beloved that he could never even imagine. Finally, Paige comes to her senses. However, it is marred by the fact that she does not remember her husband. Leo fights with the nurse and tries to get over the fact that his beloved has forgotten him. Soon the man brings Paige clothes and talks to her in the hospital cafe. It turns out that the heroine has also forgotten about her work as a sculptor, and the last 4 years seem to have been erased from her memory. Friends try to convince Leo that in time the memory will return. Coming to the hospital, the man does not see Paige in the room. The nurse reveals that she has been moved to a more expensive ward. There, Leo runs into Rita and Bill Thornton, the heroine's parents. On the doctor's recommendation, they want to take Paige to their home. However, Leo protests, believing that the heroine needs to return to a familiar life with him in order for her memory to recover. Paige asks to stop arguing, as she feels sick from screaming. Having lunch at the cafe, Leo tells her that he does not know the heroine's parents, as she herself has not communicated with them. A man tells Paige that Bill was against her career as a sculptor and therefore their relationship was strained. Leo tries to convince the heroine to go to him, but she doesn't want to stay with a stranger. Paige cries, saying that the last thing she remembers is her college years and her engagement to Jeremy. Just before leaving, Leo manages to convince the heroine to try to remember her past life. Bill and Rita react coldly. On the way home, Paige asks a man about past events and the presidential election. When the heroine enters the house, she is immediately surrounded by many people who laugh, joke, and hug her. Paige escapes to her room and then fights with Leo about how this strange party has caused her even more stress. The heroine explains that she was already having a hard time traveling with a strange man and being in an unfamiliar apartment. In the morning, Leo goes to the bathroom without any clothes on. Paige is startled by it, then laughs, realizing that she's seen the man in that outfit many times before. At breakfast, the heroine apologizes for yesterday's outburst of anger and asks Leo about his life. The man reveals that he keeps his own recording studio. Leo tries to stop Paige eating bacon since she has given up meat. However, when the man leaves for work, the heroine finishes it off. Leo recognizes a small problem at work and prepares to deal with it. Paige finds a video from the wedding and watches it. The heroine leaves the house and makes her way to a coffee shop. When the clerk suggests she order as usual, Paige happily agrees. Leo, meanwhile, buys flowers and is going home. The heroine forgets the way home and becomes very nervous. Leo sees the phone on the table and realizes that Paige won't be able to call him. The heroine calls Rita and spends the day with her. Back home, Paige tells him that her parents invited them over for dinner. Leo is upset that instead of trying to remember everything, The heroine is spending time with her mother, but still agrees to go to dinner. During the trip, Paige looks at the houses with interest and hopes that her parents will receive them well. The heroine learns that her sister Gwen is engaged and preparing for the wedding. Leo is surprised to learn that his wife's favorite dish is filet mignon. At dinner, Gwen's fiancé criticizes the man's work, believing that now any song can be recorded at home on the computer. Together with her sister and husband, Paige decides to go to a bar to have fun. The heroine introduces Leo to her acquaintances when Jeremy, her ex-fiancé, suddenly appears nearby. Paige seems to be transported to the world that was before her marriage and feels very comfortable, which cannot be said about Leo. At work, the man discusses the changes in the heroine with his friend Lily. The girl suggests not to give up and try to do something that Paige likes very much. The heroine herself, meanwhile, comes to Jeremy's office. Paige tries to understand why she broke up with her boyfriend, but learns that it happened suddenly and without explanation. Saying goodbye, the heroine kisses Jeremy and apologizes for it. Returning home, Leo sees his wife spreading photos on the table, hoping that this will bring back memories. The man decides to tickle Paige, since she used to really enjoy it. However, the heroine shrieks and recoils. The next day, Paige wants to go to the studio. Leo is excited, believing that the heroine will be able to remember everything thanks to the work. However, Paige gets nervous standing in front of the clay and finally loses her temper when the man turns on the music she once liked. The next day, Leo comes home, wanting to please the heroine with her favorite pastries. However, the man is surprised to notice Bill and sees Paige packing. The heroine says she wants to be with Gwen before her wedding. At the appointment, the doctor advises Paige not to be afraid to remember the past and fill in the gap that happened. Leo arrives at work and tells Lily that he will be missing again for a while. A man wants to be close to Paige to win her love. During the rehearsal of the wedding, Leo invites the heroine on a date, wanting to relive with her the moments precious to him. It's as if the man is giving Paige a tour of their past. At the restaurant, Leo tells her about chocolate roulette. You have to take candy out of a box without knowing what flavor it will taste like. After dinner, the man brings Paige to the lake and tells her that traditionally they bathe in it every month. The heroine is very surprised, however, agrees to experience it together with Leo. Holding hands, the couple runs to the lake and falls into the water. Leo wraps the frozen heroine in a towel and brings her to the car. Paige says that her fingers are frozen, and the man warms them as he once did. Back home, the heroine kisses Leo and decides to take things a little further. The man then takes Paige to her parents' house. The heroine cries in the arms of her sister, not realizing who she is. While socializing with friends, Leo ignores the advice to wait a little longer in winning his own wife. Bill tells Paige that he has managed to get her reinstated in law faculty with the help of connections. The wedding day arrives. The heroine ignores Leo in every way possible and does not even speak to him. Bill advises the man to back off and divorce Paige. However, Leo quarrels with him and refuses to betray his love. The scandals don't end there. Jeremy pisses the man off by joking that he will sleep with his wife. Leo beats the offender, which attracts everyone's attention. The man explains himself to Paige and realizes that it is useless to fight for love. Leo comes to the recording studio and explains that everything is hopeless. Paige just doesn't love him. Leo collects his wife's belongings from the workshop and gives her a divorce. One morning, the man stumbles upon a cat that Paige once fed and takes it to his home. At the flower store, the heroine chats with her former best friend. Unexpectedly, Paige learns that she had an affair with her father. The heroine comes home and fights with Rita, as she realizes that in the past she broke off her relationship with her family because of this. Paige realizes that she can no longer stay in this house. The heroine goes to see Leo and learns that he also knew about Bill's affair, but didn't tell her about it so as not to alienate his wife from the family. Paige goes to lectures, but instead of taking notes on the lectures, she draws in a notebook. The heroine drops out of law school again, but does not cut off contact with her family. Paige also breaks up with Jeremy, saying she wants to understand herself. The guy smiles, saying that's about the same thing she told him years ago. The heroine starts molding again, and one day finds her wedding vows on a menu. Soon Paige meets Leo outside their favorite cafe and chats with him. The heroine confesses that she is re-enrolled in the Faculty of Arts and started molding with clay. The heroine unobtrusively inquires if Leo has found a new girlfriend. Learning that he is alone, Paige suggests going to a Cuban restaurant where they often sat when their favorite cafe was closed. Leo gladly agrees and is happy that the heroine is also alone. Paige thanks the man for accepting her for who she really was and not trying to change her for his own personal interests. The memory never returned to the heroine, but she feels that she is herself again. At the end, we learn that the movie is based on the story of a real-life couple who lived together despite the gap in the wife's memory. Now they are happy and bring up two beautiful children. This is the end of the movie. Thank you all for watching this video to the end. Give this video a like. Write in the comments what you think about this movie, and see you in new videos.